সো এই স্টেয়ার্সটা আমাকে এভরিডে মেন্টালি অনেকটা ট্রাফিক ক্যামিকে ভাবে দেখি ট্রাফিক সহ্য করার যদি ক্ষমতা না থাকে তুমি তো কিছুই সহ্য করতে পারবে না পেশেন্স এতটুকু নাই তোমার তুমি অন্য কি করতে পারবে
অনেক মানুষের কাছে এটাই এত বড় একটা জিনিস এভরিডে কাছে পুটাও এন্ড আই এম লাইক বাট ভাই আমার কাছে তো কিছু লাগেই না
Okay, hello, and welcome to another BAYLA podcast episode. My third one this time hosting. I'm your host, Hassan Haq. And my special guest today is Director of TRZ Group and a good friend of mine, Zarin Rashid. Hi, Zarin.
Hi, Sam.
Welcome to our very welcome, and welcome to our podcast where everything is unscripted. We don't have a plan.
That's honestly one of the reasons why I came.
So that's how we're going to go. Where did you just come from? Work? Factory? Office?
Yes, factory as usual.
Bit insane, right? Thursdays as well, so we did the crazy days. So I am gonna target a few topic areas with you that I've thought about in my head in advance. So one of them being health, fitness, well-being, because you are very much invested in this personally. So am I. It's one of my passions. Let's start off there. I'm gonna ask you a question about health, fitness. The most basic thing. Health, fitness case in মানুষের যেটা struggle or social. It's always what? Weight loss. You know?
First thing.
It's almost always weight loss. So let's just start with something very plain, simple, and basic. In your opinion, what do you think? Is weight loss all about calories in versus calories out? Is it like an energy balance equation? মানুষ তো বলে এখন সায়েন্স বলে যে it's all about calories in versus calories out. তুমি কত burn করো versus তুমি কত ঢুকাচ্ছ বা take in করতেছো, right? So my question is it really like that? Is that what the research shows? What do you think about that? Your experience with all of this?
Honestly, I'll start with the fact that yes, initially if we have to talk about being on a deficit.
Yeah.
We should
Can you say what you mean by deficit?
When you have to have less than what your body requires.
Yeah.
So you have to be on a deficit.
Calorie-wise.
Yes, calorie-wise. And that helps people to lose weight. Yes, absolutely. But then again, when people get so invested in that itself, I think they move away from the main goal, which is to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And this is something I mean, even when it comes to giving other people advice about what to do and all, I think you should never just focus on calories. That at the end of the day can be very harmful. You're like literally counting, I mean, at the cup. I don't think that's the way to go.
Okay, if it's you say that you see people doing this wrong, so let's say একজন weight loss করতে চায়, they're desperately, let's say, obese or unhappy with where they are weight wise, সে weight lose করতে চায়. So by the way guys, the reason I target this weight loss area is simply because I've followed Zarin her entire fitness journey on Instagram, and she did a lot of content around exercise, nutrition. She runs Feed Me, which is essentially her own established business. Mostly you cater to people's. We'll come to that in a bit as we go. I'm getting off on a tangent, so I want to go back. So you said that you've seen people do this wrong, right? আমি কম খাবো খালি, আমি খালি কমই খাবো, and I'm gonna lose weight. But how do they do it wrong? Like এই wrongটা হওয়াটা কি রেজাল্টটা কি দাঁড়ায়?
Because you said feed me, ওটার সাথে একটু রিলেট করে বলি
যে that's better.
সবসময় আমাদের ক্লায়েন্টরা 90% বলবো ফার্স্ট কথাই হলো আমাকে আপনি যত কম ক্যালোরিজ পারেন ততটুকু দেন। এন্ড আমার কথাই তখন যে হোয়াট ইজ দিস বেসড অন, কারণ আমরা যখন একটা মানুষের ক্যালোরি ক্যালকুলেট করে ইটস বেসড অন देयर হাইট, ওয়েট, লাইফস্টাইল, এভরিথিং, রাইট? সো like I said, এরকম যদি হতে থাকে যে আমি ক্যালোরি ডেফিসিট করে লাইফ লিড করতে থাকি, at some point these people become so কি বলবো used to the fact that কম খাওয়াই ভালো. They stop eating things that their body needs.
And you would say that they miss out on essential stuff like vitamins, minerals, A, B, C, D, K, vitamin D3, D4.
You know these fads, these diets, like keto and all.
I hate keto.
Thank you. আর আমার কাছে যখন people come to us saying আপনারা কি কিটো দেন, আমি যদি হ্যাঁ বলতাম মেবি আমি অনেক কাস্টমার বেস পেতাম, বাট আমার কথা হলো আমার ব্যবসা যদি না চলে at the end of the day আমি কোনো দিন কিছু প্রমোটই করবো না যেটা আমি বিশ্বাস করি না ফার্স্টে, আর সেকেন্ডলি যেটা খারাপ। But how can you base your whole lifestyle or your choice of food based on একটা বা দুটা macro? You can't.
You need a well-rounded diet. You need something balanced. In fact, what I have learned over the past couple of years, especially now, I have turned 32 last month.
Really, I can't tell.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'll take that. Great compliment. So, having said that, I have realized now getting older that my body is no longer 21. It doesn't function like a 21-year-old's body. A 21-year-old could go much longer on less sleep. আরো কম খেয়ে কম ঘুমায় কম নিউট্রিশন নিয়ে সে আরো বেশি দূর যেতে পারবে আরো বেশি চলতে পারবে আমার জন্য I see more and more today যে if I don't get adequate sleep ঘুমটা খুবই important and would you say it's what 7 hours minimum?
I do 8 but 7 to 8
minimum 7
minimum is 7
right okay
yes.
So the sleep aspect but যেটা আমি আসতে চাচ্ছিলাম with having a well-rounded diet and stuff I have noticed that if you don't hit your micronutrients these are very important এগুলা না হিট করলে শরীর অ্যাকচুয়ালি খারাপ লাগে lethargic লাগে it affects
লাগবে তোমার হ্যাঁ
iron যদি deficient and girls face this more with
most in Bangladesh
right iron deficient সবসময় and iron deficiency that really makes you roga and weak you can be as slim as anybody but internally like তোমার সবকিছু দেখতে ভালো আছে but internally মেশিন পাতি ঠিক না you know that's essentially
কিন্তু বাইরে থেকে খুব fit fat and ভিতর থেকে it's like empty like
sugar cut right how do you say
that's what it is
that's legitimately what it is so I would say so if you wanted to recommend someone who now desperately wants to lose weight right subscribe to Kino not Kino feed me for this jokes aside but if you want somebody who's in that situation what are like 3 simple advice that you would give to them if you want we want to keep this simple we don't want to complicate it with over the top science যেটা সবাই grasp করবে না বা করতে চায় না or we don't want to make it boring because the moment it gets boring and you say things like এরকম করে এত কম খেয়ে এত measure করবা nobody wants to measure food এই মা বাচ্চা কেউ করতে চায় না at least from what I've seen they do it maybe for a week 10 days and then they fall off the wagon সবাই consistent থাকতে পারে না so if you had to narrow it down to 3 what would you say
first thing would be get a proper calculation done যে আমি A B C আমার এসান আর আমার বয়স এক হলে সবকিছু এক হলে তোমার needs as opposed to mine macros and micros are very different right so that's first thing I would say যে জানা আমার কতটুকু খাওয়া উচিত আমি কতটুকু খাবো না আমার কি খাওয়া উচিত আমি কোথায় deficient that's one second would be some sort of activity কোনোভাবে মানে আমি বলবো না কালকে থেকে জিমে যাই
ওয়াকিং
এনিথিং আমি সবসময় আমার ক্লায়েন্টসদেরকে বলি যারা ফিড মি খায় ভাই আমি আপনাকে বলবো না আপনি আমার খাওয়া নিচ্ছেন আপনার ওয়ার্কআউটও করতে হবে না বাট 30 মিনিটস দিয়ে স্টার্ট করো লেট দ্যাট বি ফ্যাক্টরিতে হাঁটো লেট দ্যাট বি তুমি পার্কে গিয়ে হাঁটো ওর বাসায় হাঁটো স্টার্ট উইথ সামথিং গেট ইউর হার্ট রেট এন্ড এভরিথিং আপ Third would be something very cliche, but don't compare. Don't think that fitness for you and me, it's all supposed to be same. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, love yourself to the point where you know, if I feel good, it will automatically show.
So it's the more psychological, mental aspect of all of this. So going back in summary, your first point, your last point was all about the mental happiness, being in a happy state, not to compare with other people, which is fundamentally important. Your own competition should be the person you see in the mirror. That's it. Nobody beyond that. It's all irrelevant. They have had different upbringings, different parents, different lives, education, but the body bhinnno, right? But going back to the first point, I just want to say, to add to it, if anybody is really interested in finding out your numbers, like how much you need every day, would you say a TDEE calculator is all they need?
Yeah, absolutely.
TDEE, by the way, for anybody who wants to be clear, is total daily energy expenditure. TDEE. Eta jodi hishab kori, this will give you an approximate, and this is based on some formulas, but it will give you an approximate koto calorie খাওয়া উচিত every day. তোমার height দিতে হবে, weight দিতে হবে, a few things and how active you are. So and I strongly suggest people do this because অনেকে যারা খুব low calories খায় they sometimes get surprised আমি তো আরো বেশি খেতে পারি and still not gain weight. Absolutely. Because the fact is and correct me if I'm wrong Zarin আমার যদি লাগে দিনে 2200 calories 2200 calories আমার লাগে daily to stay active to stay alive to function right আমি যদি every day 2000 calories খাই I won't get fat.
No you won't.
Most likely not.
হ্যাঁ আর তুমি
as long as it's accurate.
তুমি 2200 এর মধ্যে ঠিক করে ব্যালেন্স করে খাও, yes, এখন 2200 এর মধ্যে যদি 2000 তুমি খাচ্ছ junk, and then you leave the 200, that won't work, but like you said, well rounded.
Okay, all right,
you're still going to be safe.
Okay, I get that. And আমার আন্দাজে একই ছিল. Now, given that, number 2, your second point was to do with little bit of activity, right? And I firmly stand by that. আমি মানুষকে বলি যে do an activity and do something that তুমি sustain করতে পারবে. You can do it. এই কারণে বলি যে যদি এটা হাঁটাহাঁটি হয়, do হাঁটাহাঁটি. এটা যদি সুইমিং হয়, make it swimming. আমি জিমে যাই, এটা আমার জন্য। আমি কিন্তু বলতেছি না যে everybody else has to go to the gym.
Absolutely.
Right? You can post as much gym content as you like. But I'm sure কেউ যদি তোমাকে বলে যে আপু আমার জিমে যেতে ইচ্ছা করে না, I'm sure you would give them some alternative advice.
আমি এটাই বলি যে আমি করে দেখে মানে না তোমার করতে হবে। তোমার যতটুকু ভালো লাগে, তোমার যেটা ভালো লাগে সেটাই করো। I am posting it so that someone else sees that and can say Zarin যদি করতেছে, apart from everything she does in her life, I should be able to do that. Because অনেকে বলে তো আমাদের আশেপাশের মানুষরা Zarin টাইম হয় না, I'm like এটা বলো না। এটা বলো না।
Worst excuse you could give is আমার টাইম। Are you kidding? Netflix দেখার টাইম আছে তোমার, ফোনে Facebook ব্রাউজ করার টাইম আছে, ট্রাফিক পুশ করার টাইম আছে তোমার।
এগুলো বললে হয় না।
Sorry, you're telling me you don't have 15 minutes is even enough.
Absolutely.
Even 15 minutes.
YouTube খুলে ভাই একটা 15 মিনিটের ভিডিও করো। এখন there's so much available. That's just
exactly. Which brings me to this point, Jay. A lot of this weight loss and health and stuff, it ties into your lifestyle. যেটা point number 2 ছিল, but lifestyle একটা জিনিস কি? Let's say আমি আমার বাসার কথা বলি। আমার বাসায় I live on the 4th floor. I have the choice of taking the lift versus the stairs. Every day.
You take the stairs?
Most of the cases I take the stairs. 90% I take the stairs. জোর করে নেই, ইচ্ছা করে নেই, গরম হইলেও নেই। Part of it is also because I'm an avid follower of Stoic philosophy, which says to do that which is difficult, it will make you more resilient or stronger as an individual.
Yeah.
So এই স্টেয়ার্সটা আমাকে এভরিডে মেন্টালি অনেকটা ট্রাফিক আমি কিভাবে দেখি, ট্রাফিক সহ্য করার যদি ক্ষমতা না থাকে তুমি তো কিছুই সহ্য করতে পারবে না। পেশেন্স এতটুকুই নাই তোমার, তুমি
অনেক মানুষের কাছে এটাই এত বড় একটা জিনিস, এভরি কাছে পুচাও এন্ড আই এম লাইক বাট ভাই আমার কাছে তো কিছু লাগেই না, মানে গাড়িতে আমি কিন্তু কোনোদিন খেয়ালই করি না গাড়ি কি অবস্থা,
যেতে হবে তোমার লাগে তোমার কাজের জন্য।
আমার কথা হলো আমি যাব আর আমি এটা চিন্তা করি যে এটা থাকবেই, that's it.
And that's it. যার লাগে না সেটা না, but if you need to do it, you see so many individuals commuting 2-3 hours to work. I mean, the UK তে যতবার যাই, I see people coming in from places like Reading, people coming in from Leicester, going
to outside the city.
Outside the city, train নিয়ে যায়, 2-3 ঘন্টা work করে আবার ফেরত চলে যায়। তুমি বলতে পারো আচ্ছা তোমার ট্রেন নিয়ে যাচ্ছে, 2.5 ঘন্টা তো একটা ভেহিকলে বসে আছে, একটা সিটে রোবটের মতো এভাবে বসে আছে,
আর ওই যাচ্ছে একটা ট্রেনে, ভাবো তুমি ডিফারেন্স না,
একটা গাড়ির মধ্যে এসি বাতাস খেয়ে can get to the city. You're fortunate, you're lucky, আচ্ছা good for you. এটা নিয়ে bicker and complain করে
কিছু না, এই জন্য আমি এটা নিয়ে
so even with little things you can implement that into your lifestyle. এখন আমি যদি বলি যে আমি কিছুই physical activity করতে পারি না, তুমি কি একটা sack who's just sitting in a corner, you don't move, you don't go to places. আর যদি আসলেও লাইফের এতই প্রেশার থাকে, there are some high energy individuals who are very active. I'm sure you know some personally in life as well. In those type of cases যে actually পারে না, would you say that তাদের এই ক্যালোরি কন্ট্রোল রাখা আর ইটিং মানে পজিশনে খাওয়া এটাই will keep them healthy and well, all other areas outside of it? অনেকে Zarin আমি শুনছি just চায় না, আমি ওয়ার্কআউট করতে চাই না, আমি কোনো এক্সারসাইজ করতে চাই না, I don't want to do physical work, help me.
আমি জানি না, আমার কাছে কোনোদিন মনে হয় না যে একটা মানুষের লাইফে হাফ অ্যান আওয়ারও নাই নিজের জন্য। বাট শুনেছেন যারা এরকম খুবই হাইলি কি বলবো স্ট্রেসড ইন লাইফ ওর অনেক অ্যাক্টিভ, আই থিঙ্ক তাদের জন্য আরও নেসেসারি। মানে আমি তাদেরকে যখনই দেখি এরকম মানুষদের, আমি সবসময় ইভেন আমার বাবাকে বলি যে বাবা একটু মেডিটেট করো। Abu's like meditate. চোখ বন্ধ করলেই তো আমার মাথায় 10,000টা জিনিস ঘুরে। How can I meditate? And I was like, that's the challenge. You meditate.
That really is the challenge because stress today is defined as the silent killer.
Absolutely. Like
it kills you from inside, and the worst part is you can do as much blood test and
whatever you ধরা পড়বে না কিন্তু যে তুমি stress, blood pressure high হয়ে যাবে, এটা হবে সেটা হবে, and then you're like, oh my god.
Absolutely. So before we move out of the health fitness area, because I want to talk a little bit more about retail and clothing and stuff after all we're in gardens, you know. So before we go there, a very important thing that I forgot to speak to you about and that I want to go back on is actually hormonal function and well-being, and how much people are not aware of this. When we are angry, when we are sad, when we are happy, when we are motivated, driven, whatever, how much of it would you say is dictated by these hormones of ours, like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, all these other things, and things like sleep, they affect it, things like physical workout, things like sex, and things like fun activities, things like drugs. I mean, everything affects, end of the day, hormones, which translates to your mood, or, you know.
Just you.
So how important is that? And if somebody wants to keep them regulated, because it's true, the happiness is a state of mind, but you can't think your way into happiness if the hormonal surge is too
like
high.
If it's not in balance, you're not gonna. No, you're not.
Brain ঠিক মতো কাজ করবে না যদি hormonal imbalance থাকে, right? Your coffee is getting cold. So what would you say about that? And for anybody trying to keep it regulated or under control?
Okay, let me just use myself as an example.
Yeah, please.
So I am a very big avid believer of the fact that how you feel is literally equal to how you're going to be, like what we just said, right? And what I meant was how you feel on the inside. And আমি every day, maybe 2-3 বার হলেও দিনে meditate.
That's really good.
Starts from the first thing I do is I wake up and then I meditate. And যেসব দিন বা যেসব টাইমে এসব দেখা যায় আমি খুব বিজি হয়ে যাচ্ছি, মনে হচ্ছে আমার লাইফে অন্য কাজ বেশি ইম্পর্টেন্ট, those are the days আমি কাজে I'll lose my temper, I'll misbehave with other people, and then I'll get into arguments. আমার কিচ্ছু করতে ইচ্ছা করবে না, জিমে গেলে I'll hurt myself or কিছু না কিছু উল্টা হবে. So like you said, যে we নিজেকে বোঝা to the point that am I feeling okay? Am I feeling balanced? আমি যেরকম খুব easily বুঝতে পারি, আমার কিছুদিন আগেও I was feeling so restless to the point where my palms were sweating continuously.
And a lot of people don't know that it's happening because you have that imbalance happening. Funny thing about United, I was in United 2 days back, and they have this thing that, are you obese? Maybe you're not the problem, it's your thyroid. You know, it sounds a bit like an excuse as well for obese people, but but I just feel like we aspect কেউ চিন্তা করে না. People are not like, maybe my dopamine levels are low. এই কারণে আমার আজকে just driven, motivated লাগতেছে না. Every time কাজে যাবো excited হয়ে energy নিয়ে, it's tough.
But এটা কিন্তু যেটা বললা, it needs to be a part of your life every day. তুমি ঘুম থেকে উঠে যেরকম ব্রাশ করো, তোমার ঘুম থেকে উঠে mentally prepared থাকতে হবে যে Ehsan is going to tackle this day with whatever that comes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the mindset.
Come what may. We soldier on. Funny you say that, because rights is the same way as well. When I spoke to him about it as well, we sort of hold this view, and I read somewhere, there's I don't know his name, this entrepreneur motivation speaker person on YouTube, as we see them, right? And he was saying that the first 90 seconds of your day are the most important time of your day.
90 minutes or seconds?
90 seconds.
Seconds, okay.
Very important it maps out, because the moment you wake up, you have 1.5 minutes to set priorities into your brain before your brain turns on the subconscious side and takes over. You know,
you're like literally pushing my buttons. These are like things I could keep talking about.
Exactly. I know. That's why I called you here, because you don't go into those discussions, and these things are very important if you want to be healthy. Stress makes us fat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stress releases
horrible. Just
cortisol.
Period. Yeah.
Stress hormone, cortisol.
কত ধরনের diseases just stress related, like the worst kind, even things like cancer. Yeah.
The stress data from Bangladesh, last year I found out, said that we are infinitely more stressed than we've been since past times. I think why people গ্রামে মানুষ, even though they're not
খুশি থাকে
আরো বেশি, they live longer as well. Because শহরে তুমি যতই টাকা কামাও না কেন, you're stressed. You're complaining. So if you want to function healthily in a high-paced environment, etc., not that I would know from my personal feeble experiences, let's say, but I feel like your stress management and regulation is a very important aspect of success in anything, I would say. So Jay বলবে তোমাকে এখন যে okay Zarin, I've heard you, I've heard some speak about this. I want to know how I can better regulate hormones. Three things you would give as advice to better regulate hormones.
First thing, try understanding who you are. What drives you?
Yeah.
What is happiness to you?
Yeah.
Actually, I was also reading this in the morning, so it's like fresh in my mind. Like, there was a saying in Islam where it said, people who have more will only get more.
Yeah.
People who don't even have as much as they want will also be deprived of what they have. And yes,
Whoa.
yeah, I know, very deep, right?
Fascinating.
But guess what I'm talking about? Gratitude.
Gratitude, for sure.
Yeah, nothing. Like
For
it's,
sure.
Yeah, it's as simple as I'm going to take you to jeta tum bolla. First 90 seconds, but what I know is the first hour of the day, ja koro, that literally makes up for the whole day. Plan
For
it,
sure.
yeah.
Plan it.
Yes.
You have to have a direction, তাই না? আর যদি direction চিন্তা মাথায় নাও আসে, I suppose that's where we come back to things like meditation,
Absolutely.
which helps you center yourself. And it is not advice I would suggest to some, if people are genuinely interested in, I would say that we need to do more grounding type stuff. As in, if you want to reconnect back with yourself, it's usually advised to do deep breathing, number one. And number two, it says to check on your senses. So you touch something, actively touch something registered in your brain. You smell something, so that could be anything like perfume or coffee or whatever, and you register in your brain, this is me smelling the perfume. You're grounding your senses, right? You look at something and you focus down. So let's say I'm looking at the spotlight and I'm choosing a spotlight. The light rays are hitting my eyes, it's very bright, I can't look for too long. And the last one is taste. So even if you brush your teeth, you actively, this is the fluoride in the toothpaste, not tasting. This is what it is. But in doing this, you've just grounded yourself, and suddenly, and if you add deep breathing to these things while you're doing it, you'll be back to like your anxiety levels or your elevated heart rates or whatever. They will come down momentarily, of course, and you can think yourself into misery again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Into
But for that
anxiety
time,
again.
you were at peace.
Yeah. So, Zarin, thank you very much for those inputs. Mr. Sakib gave me a time check, so we're going to move on.
Yeah.
I'm going to go more towards garments and clothing because it's so much fun, right? I was dealing with R&G and it's like, can't wait to speak about this stuff. No, we're not going to talk R&G, we're going to talk retail. So, you dabbled with retail, Kino. My wife bought some of your one of your items.
Looks so good.
And she looked so amazing, and she wore it in London, and it was fabulous. And I didn't know where it was. So I said, Zara Farah, she's like, it's very nice. So Kino was like, what? You know? And where did you get the inspiration for it? Why did you do it? How's it going?
So when I moved back, garments e jokhon involved hoye gelam, I saw that our creative side ta na aste aste dim hoye jacche.
Yeah.
You know how it is, right?
Of course. We all felt that way.
Everyday work and all of that was taking away that, I don't know, that part of me where I was able to just express. Paint kori na, kichu kori na agar moton ekhon. So I thought, you know what, at least something should stay. So I started Kino as a kind of like an escape into my other creative world.
Nice.
And you know, I always wanted to have my touch out there. Something about Kino that you'll see is our...
Something that's yours.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know, Izan, I've studied this. I thought if I can't do or make a difference with that... তো Kino বানানোর reason এটাই ছিল যে to have that touch, and it's fully e-commerce. I never want to have a store, at least এখন পর্যন্ত I haven't thought about it because আমি জানি আমার লাইফে এখন যে প্রেশার আমি পারবো হ্যান্ডেল করতে, আর আমি চাই আমার জিনিস কোয়ালিটি থাকুক. So it's actually made in my factory, and it's a very sustainable way that we run it. আমার মাত্র 5 জন মানুষ পুরো ব্র্যান্ডটা চালায়.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And 5 জন সেলাই করে, কাটিং করে, প্যাটার্ন করে, সব একই. It's sort of like an order based, right? So we never have anything in stock, so আমি কিছু নষ্ট করি না.
So you keep the fabrics ready?
হ্যাঁ, না. ফ্যাব্রিকও আনি খুব লিমিটেড.
Okay.
আমি মাথায় চিন্তা করে রাখি যে আমি এতটুকুর জন্য এতটুকু আনবো, নেসান if that sells out, it sells out. আর কোনোদিন রিস্টক করি না। আর যে ফ্যাব্রিকটা থেকে যায় ওটা পরের কালেকশনে অন্য কোনো ডিজাইন দিয়ে I launch. So alhamdulillah, you know, it's been good.
Nice.
Has been picking up and feels nice.
No, I would say if there are women looking for fashionable clothing that is trendy right now. আমি বলতেছি এটা because আমি ইনস্টাগ্রামে গিয়ে ঘেটে দেখে বুঝে বলছি I would never endorse a brand just because আমার friend করছে. Shout out to Mahir Mannan with Solitaire as well.
Dude, right?
Insane stuff.
So no, Mahir, I know you're gonna hear this, but what packaging thing? I called him right away. I was like, dude, my content stuff.
Same. I called him right away. Packet money is gonna this one.
I was like, তুমি কি বিক্রি করতেছো আর কত টাকা কস্টিং? ও আমাকে একটা কথাই বলছে যে ওর main idea with Solitaire is very different than my idea with Kino.
Right.
That's where I was like, okay, makes sense because dude, everything was so just pristine.
His whole thing was the experience, but what I gave him compliments for was that তুমি প্যাকেজিংটাকে খুব বুমবাং করছো, but তুমি বাকিটাকে ইগনোর করো না। ওই বুমবাংই ম্যাচ করছো প্রোডাক্ট, which is really good. But having said that, I'm not going to go into Solitaire.
No, but I really like it.
But going back to Kino, so you're seeing traction. I have personally seen it. The styles are really nice, and my partner has worn it literally in front of me, and she looked amazing in it. So thank you very much for that. What are your future plans with it?
Future plans for now is so we launch about 6 collections a year.
Yeah.
4 to 6.
Okay.
So I work with how it works abroad, how fall, summer, winter, and the Eids are there.
Yeah.
My plan is to honestly make it the brand that you can go to online for, I don't know, anything that's affordable but stylish.
Yeah.
Because if you take a look, all our clothing is like within 3,000, 3,500, and that's kind of like the cut or the thing I keep. You know, at the end of the day, I want people to shobai bole eta je chai. But it's actually cool. Karon dekho eta online. At the end of the day, I can't charge an arm and a leg for it. It doesn't make sense. But for now, I'm also looking into exploring other countries. Australia, I have shipped a good quantity.
From like Kino stuff.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Well done.
So it was
crossed borders already. So I think that's good traction. That's
so that's the thing is, and what I want to do is, let's say, stores abroad that can't make it, they can use they can use their own tag, but get it made through.
For sure.
Kind of
licensing models.
Absolutely.
In certain ways. But that's brilliant. Okay, next and final line of questioning that I usually have asked my previous 2 guests as well. You just came here from BUFT, from to what I understand. I mean, actually, he's there in Bushas. I'm BUFT. Okay, brilliant. Good, because that's because I like to go in this direction. We're involved in RMG. We're in the fashion trade, fashion business. You studied fashion, so you're the ideal person to ask this last segment to. Fashion design পরে বাংলাদেশে এসে অনেকেই ডিসকারেজড ফিল করে মনে করে যে এটা পরে বাংলাদেশে কি অ্যাপ্লাই করবো আমাদেরকে তো খালি গার্মেন্টস এর বাইরেরা দেয় মেক দিস প্রডিউস দিস এই টি শার্ট বানাও ওই শার্ট বানাও এন্ড দেন 5,000 পিস শিপমেন্ট করো 10,000 পিস শিপমেন্ট করো whatever 5 লাখ পিস শিপমেন্ট whatever that might be, right? ফ্যাশন ডিজাইনিং এর স্কোপ কতটা এখানে কতটুকু জায়গা আছে কিভাবে যাচ্ছে এন্ড যেটা বাংলাদেশের বিগেস্ট ব্যারিকেড আমার পার্সোনাল থট প্লিজ কি আমাকে জাজ করো না আমি এটা বলবো সেটা হচ্ছে যে people's fashion sense here. You want to comment on that? আমার ঘাটটা বাঁচাবো তোমার ঘাটে চড়াই দিই তাহলে ফ্যাশন সেন্স অন অ্যাভারেজ আমাদের দেশে ভালো না at least তুমি আচ্ছা আমি এটা প্রমাণ যদি বলো যে how what on based on what
based on
বাংলাদেশে 1000টা ডিজাইনারের নাও যারা আছে নিট গার্মেন্টস বানাচ্ছে কথা লেটস সে নিট বা শার্টে ওদেরকে দিয়ে ডিজাইন করো করে তুমি একটা বিভিন্ন কাস্টমারের কাছে গুলো পাঠাও compared to a British designer আমাদের সেল অনেক কম অনেক চয়েস হবে বিগ হবে এমন যে বিগ হবে না অনেক কম হবে is because of a lack of fashion sense to some extent. Let's say the type of item you're wearing in velvet and this yours is from Zara, is it? Yes, this is from Zara too. We love Zara because Zara is fashionable. Let's be real. I wouldn't expect this to come out of a designer from here. If it did, I would be very surprised, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow মানুষের চিন্তা করে ফেলবে যে কারণে now I'll finally leave you with the question what are prospect again, how can somebody have better fashion knowledge here so that এগুলাকে actually আমরা because we have the potential to do so much with this industry.
Am I speaking in terms of BFT alone or all the other fashion
generic? BFT will keep that on the side. If you're interested to speak about it, you can. The floor is yours. Just tell me what you think about it.
So যেটা আমি once I moved back আর আমি যখন hire করতেছিলাম designer for R&D, one thing I saw was Isan, it's absolutely the same. Other curriculum as opposed to what I did, I think they have better things that they could physically learn in Bangladesh যেটা আমি maybe Toronto পাই.
Wow, that's crazy. I wouldn't have even expected that.
That's something I saw today at BUFT. Like I was like, wow, the kind of looming machines they had. Dude, সবকিছু ছিল. Looming বলে না, এটা কি বলে?
Looms or weaving. Could be.
So sorry guys.
Good judge. It's okay, we're not experts of R&D.
No, but
সবকিছু
ছিল ওখানে loom থেকে তোমার আমি এগুলো terms জানি না because I'm not familiar with these things, but at the same time যখন এগুলো দেখলাম I was like আমার ল্যাবে মনে হয় 10টা পিসি ছিল and I went to a really good school.
Yeah.
As opposed to এখানে দেখতেছি 40টা in one room and they have like 10.
Progress.
Okay, so yeah, that's the good part that there are ways. But then again, what you said, I'm gonna kind of comment on that Bangladeshi designer as opposed to a British, যখন তুমি ওদেরকে বসাবা, outlook. A British designer searches on the web, ও জানে what's in, ও জানে what street style. Bangladeshi designerদের আমরা কি শিখাচ্ছি? ও যা দেখে বাংলাদেশের রাস্তায় দেখতেছে, মানুষকে দেখতেছে, ও তো দেখে অতটুকু শিখবে.
Yeah. This is what I get.
That's what Rumi said. Remember, actually, bring that up. Good point. যে মানুষের যখন দেখার ক্যাপাসিটি হবে এতটুকু, তাহলে তা ক্যান থিঙ্ক বিয়ন্ড দ্যাট.
Because আমি যদি খালি সলিড কালার পোলো শার্ট দেখে বড় হই, খালি এটাই দেখি,
তখন তুমি এটা চিন্তা করবে.
আমি এটা চিন্তাই করব.
ভেলভেটের একটা ড্রেস ভাববো না, বাট হ্যাঁ, no.
You know, because এখন আমি পোলো শার্ট দেখতেছি that don't have buttons because that's fashionable right now. The sweater market style. Interesting, but so if you had to say finally, যে তার এই visionটাকে broaden করতে চাচ্ছে in terms of fashion, and this is just if somebody wants to be more fashionable or they want to pursue careers in fashion or a industry to participate করে fashion নিয়ে কাজ করতে চায়, what advice would you tell them? Instagram এ broader page ঘাটো, because ওটা করা উচিত,
সবকিছু
করা দেখতে হবে, fashion magazines
stay up to date, this is where your interest lies.
But aki
মানে কি করতে পারে?
To broaden this narrow my vision of fashion, you can broaden করতে পারে.
বুঝতে হবে ফ্যাশন কি। ভাই ফ্যাশন কিন্তু ব্র্যান্ডস না, এটা হলো আমার সবচেয়ে বড়। এটা আমি মাথায় নিয়ে আসছিলাম আজকে, আমাকে এসান যখন জিজ্ঞেস করবে what's fashion? Fashion is every person's personality, the way they carry things out. তোমার এই শার্টটা আরেকটা ছেলেকে পরাও না, is it gonna look the same? No.
Not dressed up in the right way, accessorized, etc.
Wearing tons of brands, logos, that's never been fashion to me. Maybe when I was young I thought that was fashion, but as I grew up I think it's about expressing. It's all about how you see things. So একটা ডিজাইনারের মাথা কিন্তু অনেক ক্রিয়েটিভ হতে হবে। সো তার চিন্তা ভাবনা ওরকম হতে হবে যে আমি কি ডিজাইনার হব। ডিজাইনার মানে না আমি গিয়ে ছবি আঁকবো, একটা জিনিস ডিজাইন করবো and ডিজাইনার হবো, right? Every designer has their certain, like, I don't even know, Gucci to D&G to like
for sure,
Versace, they have their unique touch. That's why they're
exactly brands. And I like that you said they head to toe stuff because a lot of people think I spend X amount of money, so আমার এখন t-shirt, pant, জুতা, মোজা, underband সবকিছু হচ্ছে Versace, সবকিছু হচ্ছে আমার Versace. আমি বলি ব্র্যান্ডস পরা সমস্যা না, there's no problem, brands তো ফ্যাশন, তাই না? তুমি যদি হেড টু টো এরকম একটা Versace ম্যান হয়ে থাকো or woman হয়ে থাকো, you're not fashionable, you're insecure. Just being honest.
No, it's absolutely, because then
so
you're
compensating
trying to
for something.
Cover something up with something else, right?
Right. So আমাকে এখন ওরা টাইগার আইস দিচ্ছে যে শেষ না করলে সমস্যা হবে মনে হয় কোনো রকমের।
অনেক কথা বলতে।
But this was a lot of fun. Very absolutely
loved it.
It's a good way to end the Thursday, তাই না? Tomorrow's Friday, we got a day off, we're all gonna chill, I'm gonna sleep. So
Friday তে কি করে মানুষ? I don't know.
আজকে অনেক
মানুষ অনেক কিছু করে, আমরা করি না।
I catch up. And I'm gonna work out actually.
Me too, right now that's why I'm having coffee. I never drink coffee.
It's like a pre-workout. Thank you for tuning in, whoever has seen till now, our viewers.
Where do I look? Is that this or?
You can look at that iPhone or you can look at the
Oh, okay, all right. Perfect. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, and you'll have to come back some other time if it continues. So if I keep doing this and we're here, etc. We'll do it again. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope everybody stays well, stay safe.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Thank you very much.